So we were going to Vietnam since it's relatively closer from Korea than it is in Canada. So went there, or at least was going to. And then the moment when I arrived at the airport, turns out that certain countries require visas while other countries don't. And I was part of that. So I was like, oh, oh. And so I could not go. And my parents were like, oh, we didn't buy a SIM card. What's going to happen? And I was like, oh, yeah, that's what I thought too. I got an eSIM and I downloaded the Grab app to make sure that they're going to be okay. But then turns out that I couldn't. You can apply for visa on arrival. Yeah, but you can't do that is the thing due to the time constraints. And also you can only do it during the weekdays, not during the weekends, because that's when the government is not working, the Vietnam government. Yeah, I found all of this out. I've experienced it firsthand, so can't do that. So I was like, oh, well, you know what? I guess I can't go. I hope you guys have a good time, but I was also really worried. I actually cried because I was so worried because they were initially saying that, oh, maybe we should stay behind. And I didn't want them to waste their plane ticket and the hotel. And I was really worried. I felt like I was sending them off to die and be like an orphan in like a country that they don't really know how to navigate their way. They don't have a SIM card. And I was just instructing them to like buy a SIM card at the airport. And I didn't go to sleep. I set an alarm. I mean, yeah, I did take a nap, but I set an alarm for the time that they would approximately arrive. And I was staying up at around like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. to make sure. I was having a little breakdown because I was like, what if something happens to them? How am I gonna live? How am I gonna live with the guilt? It's and I was so sad and upset. And then in the meantime, I was getting in touch with a very shady lady. I just found her information around social media. Like some of them were willing to do like a faster visa for maybe around like $300 something. But this lady was willing to do it for like just $100. And she didn't have like any proper social media or anything. It was just solely through WhatsApp. And I was like, okay, I'm trusting you. Mandy. She said, I take Wise, I take PayPal, I take whatever. So I said, okay, I will transfer to you like right now. And then it was like fill in the details, and I did. Earlier, I was close to submitting my information on like another website, but I think that was a scam. Thank God I didn't put in any like bank details or anything, but I felt like something was off when I was like going through it. So I didn't fill it out. And then they were like sending me an email where they were like, hey, you didn't complete the payment details. You should do that right now. And I was like, no, thank God. They have all my other information, but at least they don't have my payment details, so that's good. Anyway, back to Mandy. So Mandy was saying, okay, so just to let you know, all the other places that are saying that they can fill in the visa during weekends, they're all scams. Disregard them. And I was like, okay, Mandy. And she was like, I can finish it an hour or 2 or 3 or 4, pick your poison. I was like, okay. And then she was like, oh, actually, you can just go for like option C since you're going to be arriving later. So this is going to be cheaper. I was like, thank you, Mandy. And she was like, okay, so I'm going to give you a visa on arrival and you can just use this. And it's like just a PDF file. I was like, oh, is this really going to work? And then she started writing in like all caps all of a sudden. Like she was just typing normally. And then suddenly all caps saying, you must show this disregard. It was just very shady writing. So I was so worried. And then I got through, surprisingly. So I was like, oh, I wasn't scammed. Oh, thank God. And then she was saying, oh, I'll send the rest of the details by the time that you arrive. And I was like, okay. And so I arrived, and that was good. That was promising. And she did send me the visa when I arrived. So I was like, oh my God, thank you, Mandy. You saved my life. And so after that, I grabbed the taxi and I took off and was able to spend those few days I had with my parents. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you that my parents arrived safe and sound at the hotel, which was good. Before they arrived, I asked another friend of mine. They only need to pay like 6 cents per minute for international calls, so I was asking them if they could call the hotel on my behalf and tell them that even if I'm not there, are they still going to be able to check in for the hotel? And they were just saying, oh yes, just give me the confirmation number and things will be all right, and did everything beforehand to make sure that they will enter safe and sound, and they did. So I was happy.